All right, ladies and gents, we'll get a start. Just before we do, please help yourselves to a bottle of water. We've got some nibbles on the table up the back if you're a bit peckish throughout. It's a little, hopefully it's not too much death by PowerPoint, but yeah, there's some good info up here that will help you for your journey. So first off, can I get a quick show of hands who has not done a Hyrox before? Holy dooly, that's nearly everyone. Okay, cool. Alrighty, so what is it? Is it? Okay, so Hyrox Fitness Racing, all right, combines both running functional workout stations where participants run 1K and then a workout station and then another K, another workout station, so on and so forth for 8 stations and 8Ks total. Now there's a little video here, hopefully it's, there's the ad, bear with me. Oh, we got no volume.
The platform that connects you to an experienced doctor within the hour. Convenient when you're busy.
At UpDoc, partner doctors adhere
Where's
to
the
strict
cursor?
clinical standards. That means professional, convenient and accessible care whenever you need. Need a prescription?
There we go.
I'm not gonna lie, daughter had fun, Yagi, her brain fried. My lady Papa Zenny, other lady popping Molly, why she waiting on me? You're in my area, keep on heading if you want, I drive it like you know. I don't wanna hear you, just ain't on like I'm Bango, cutting my hair. I just keep going low, so she's gonna make I fly non-stop. Kelly is to New York, 구름 위로 hop on. Drive out and riding birds, honeyberry counting dogs. I do what I wanna do, 그게 나의 문의원. 너넨 꿈꾸지 말만 많지, just do it. Like Nike, just do it, get to know me and I 내 flow가 짧은 눈이 분위기는 chill. Fendi snakes on my barrel, yeah I'm feeling first class. Yo, don't cash flow, ooh pop it on my glass. Ooh pop that pass, ooh smoke that gas. Cash pay, blackjack, monkeys on my pig. 100, 200, multiply, dollar sounds my lullaby.
All right, so that's pretty much you probably would have done a little bit of YouTubing and Googling anyway as to what it is, but all right, so we'll go through race format, categories, a little bit of info about what the race actually looks like. So it's a 1K run that moves into the rocks zone, which is where all of the workout stations are located. That's the order of the stations. So after you complete your first run, so at the start of your heat time, you'll go out the tunnel, you run 1K, and then you move on to your very first station. And that's the order of those stations there. And there's the distance and reps per station. So it might seem pretty daunting, but it's actually not that bad. So there's a whole ton of categories and divisions. So we've got men's and women's, you've got mixed, and there's also adaptive categories for those of us that are mobility impaired. Singles, doubles and relay formats. Each category has got 2 divisions, open and pro. Different weights and loads for the respective categories in the race formats, and the mixed relay is pretty simple. You use the weight for your division. So it's either men's open, women's open. So if you're doing, start again, Andrew. If you're running around doing, say, ski erg to start off with, you just do the 1,000 meters. If you've got a weight loaded one, so like the sled push, if I'm doing it, I push the men's weights. If Amanda's doing it, she pushes the women's weight. Okay, so that's where you need to know which ones you're doing. Relays always require a team member to complete 2 runs and 2 stations only. You don't need to do the whole 8Ks. So you will share the load throughout. So there's some of the different weights and loads for the different categories. So women's open and pro. The difference between women's pro and men's is nothing. It's exactly the same. So women's open, it's a lighter load. Men's open, it's a decent load. If you go the pro, I think you're crazy. But they're the ones. The sled push is 202 kilos, so it's pretty full on. There's no difference with the runs, the ski ergs, the burpee broads, and the rower. It's the same across the board. All right, getting into how we're going to do it here. At the moment, we're in the final stages of the Commit to 30 challenge, so we're not going to kick off any Hyrox training just yet. I'm tipping everyone's going to be a little bit mentally drained after a decent block anyway, so starting Hyrox straight afterwards, probably not a good idea. The performance benchmark block starts next week, and as with every performance benchmark block, we've got testing around about that first week after a deload week, and that testing weekend is the weekend of the 16th and 17th of August, so there's no Hyrox. What we're going to do is start our training program the week after on the 23rd. Now we're going to start off with a running block. Right, it's going to be a little bit of a run club. We're proposing to meet in the car park behind the church here and just run up and down the train line bike path there. Sunday mornings, now we're still working on timings, but we're looking at probably a 7 to 8 a.m. start. When we get into the 10-week training block, the durations of the training varies. There's some that go for just under an hour, some that go for just over an hour. There's one monster that goes for 90 minutes. All right, so that's a ripper, that one. So that'll most likely be a 7 a.m. start. Consists of a mix of the running block and a pre-programmed BFT 10-week training block. It's very similar to the classes that you experience here on a daily basis. However, it's just geared towards Hyrox. Those are some key dates there from now until Hyrox, to the race day, which is the 9th to the 13th of December. So early August, we've got our end of challenge party. I'm tipping no one wants to be doing any Hyrox training after the end of challenge party, especially you, Fridge. 16th of August, we've got our benchmark testing that weekend. So that's where, you're going to be pretty cooked after doing the conditioning benchmark. We start session 1 of 4 the week after. Now, there's 5 weeks between then and grand final weekend, but bang in the middle of that's Father's Day. And I don't know about anyone here, but I'm not too keen on going for a run on Father's Day. I don't think you are either, mate. So we're not going to worry about that. So I think it's 2 weeks of run club, week off, another 2 weeks, and then we move into grand final weekend where there's no Hyrox training. 4th of October, week after, we crack in here with our 10-week block. We're still mapping out where we're going to do the runs when, because you'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 500-metre runs during the training itself. You might even, I think there's, we do a full K towards the end, don't we, boys? Yeah. So we're still mapping that out, but it's likely up the hill, chuck a left at the Rangeview Road to LC Road, I think it is, and then turn around and come back. That's just on a K. The kicker is going up that hill. So, but yeah. The 25th of October is that 90-minute session. So as we said there, it's a 7 a.m. start. That is a doozy. And then the 7th of December is the deload. It's a very light session here where it's probably best to practice your transitions. So you would have gone through the previous 9 to 10 weeks of learning your pace for the rower, for the ski erg, finding your rhythm with all the other different exercises as well. But if you're doing a relay or if you're doing doubles, practicing your transitions will be really big because the judges are red hot on illegal transfers or just not doing it properly, and they'll ping you time penalties. Now, most of us here aren't racing for sheep stations. You're just doing it for the first time round. But if you really want to avoid having to do more reps, that's where we'll probably get our technique squared away there. The week of the 7th and 8th, so that's Monday and the Tuesday. As much as we love you, don't want to see you here, okay? You will need your rest. If you want to come in, it is an extremely light session for you only. The programming will still be the programming for everyone, but so if for argument's sake it's a leg day and you're normally deadlifting 50 kilos, you're deadlifting 10. All right, just to keep moving, or maybe not that light, but It's strongly recommended that you don't train in the lead up to your race. And then, yeah, the race itself over that 4 or 5 day period. All right, how it's going to work for us here. Now, this is probably the most unpopular part. This program is going to be run on top of your BFT memberships. So, and getting this off the ground has come at a bit of a cost. So we're just going to ask if a little bit of a small fee, either be $10 a session or if you want to save a bit of coin, it'll be $100 up front for the 15 weeks for Boronia BFT members. For non-Boronia BFT members, those are that's the price there. The bookings for when we do the classes here will be via the booking app. They will be open for everyone. However, we're going to have a bit of an order and a priority system here. So it will be those Boronia members who are competing. You will get priority for spots here. It'll be open to anyone wanting to come in and train as well. But if we do get 36 people coming in and someone who's competing is missing out, we'll bump someone. So you get priority because you're training for the race. And then the last one is non-members, whether they're competing or not. Cool. Now, one thing that I've had a bit of an idea with this is there's one thing that we can do to sort of set ourselves apart from others, and this is common on race day, is having a shirt or a singlet or something made up. So we've got a couple of options for you. So we can create our own singlets or t-shirts with designs similar to that. All right, that's a guide only. All right, that's ChatGPT doing its thing. So please don't pay attention to the names on it either. I call my ChatGPT bot Gaz. That's why his name's up the back there. So there's a whole heap of different companies that provide these sorts of singlets, and they have their own preset designs. So we can shop around and get something, fairly cost effective. The only issue with something like this is that they're created from scratch, so they might be a little bit more of a pricier option. And we also need a minimum order. So if we don't get the minimum, we won't be able to do it. The other option we have is you can provide your own singlet and can either get some screen printing done or we can get some iron-on designs done. Now, these are my shirts from the last couple of years that we had done up. So that's just a singlet from Kmart, and you just get the designs ironed on the back, get your name on it. Team name, obviously this one's from a couple of years ago when I was over at Rowville. So we can probably do something like that. BFT Boronia, name on the back, Hyrox 2026. It's entirely up to you guys on that front. There is no pressure either way. Now this is where things get, all right, so we saw a show of hands of it's your first Hyrox. What our role as your coaches is to guide you through how to go about your training. All right, we will provide you the best guidance where possible on technique, other hints and tips to give you the best chance of performing at your best. There's also members in studio that have competed at a Hyrox in the past. Can I get a show of hands of those that have done one before? All right, cool. So myself, Amanda, Lana, Fridge, we've done them before. So if you've got any questions about it, and I've already spoken to most, I haven't spoken to you yet, Lana, but I've spoken to Fridge. He's happy to take questions about it. Same with Amanda, myself. So. Nathan? Yeah, sorry?
Don't ask me, I don't.
Don't ask you. Yeah. And Nath Walsh has also competed a couple. He actually did one recently in Sydney, so he's very well versed in it as well. We'll also produce some videos on our socials, or we'll repost some things that we think will benefit our demographic here. Because be careful about what you surf online with, this is the best technique, this is the best way to do this. Everyone does things differently. So we know our people well. So if we're going to put something up online, we're going to make sure it's going to be suitable for you folks to do. As I said, technique guidance, nutrition advice, race preparation tips, race hints, like throughout. Yeah. Now, where do we begin? So, in case you missed it, there's a ton of running, a lot of running. The BFT programming does a pretty good job to build your base level of fitness. I mean, you'll be surprised how fit you actually are for this particular race. Doing this 10-week block will refine that level of fitness, but if you haven't already started running, we recommend doing it pronto. Over the first 4 sessions, over those 5 weeks, will be purely based on running. So we'll be doing either running technique, frequency and intensity, distance and duration. We've also got prepared a little bit of a 5-week foundation running program here as well that we're going to go by for our run club. If you want to grab one of those at the end of tonight, please go for it. Then the main 10-week block will commence the week after grand final, which is where you go through your technique, find out your pace of your rower, your ski erg, find your rhythm with your burpee broad jumps, your farmer's carry. We've got a sled down here that we'll get going as well. And we'll also give you some hints and tips on how to do that properly. Bear in mind that it's not on a smooth surface like this grass. The rubberized surface that they use is, I'm on camera here, so I'll be polite. It's not pleasant. All right, it's actually more like this. It's really full on. But we'll give you ideas on how to overcome that. We'll also get you to how to apply the rules for the race. We've got some rule books printed up, which we'll go through very shortly. And I'd recommend you have a read of those because look, for the open categories, the judging's not too bad. You generally get 1 to 2 warnings before they scream out no rep. But if you're racing in the pro category, I'm pretty sure there's no warnings. Is that right, Zach?
Depending on the exercise.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll also get you to use your team tactics. So if you're racing as a team, again, we'll get you to figure out how you're going to do your splits. So the end target for your ski erg is 1,000 metres. As a pair, how are you going to split that up? Changeover technique, strategies and all that sort of stuff. And last thing, we'll get you to experience what it's like doing this under heavy fatigue. I'm not going to lie to you, you'll be buggered when you're doing some of the latter stations, especially wall balls right at the very end. That's a killer. All right, but we'll get you to the point where we'll condition you to be able to do that, or time when you have your breaks. Doing 100 in a row is extremely difficult unless you're this bloke here who's a freak. You love your wall balls, mate. I've seen you do it in the morning. But the breaks, like if you do 20 and then have a 5-second breather and then go again, then do 10, whatever it may be, whatever your splits is. And yeah, as I said, run whilst fatigued. The rules, there's a ton of them. There's 3 books there, most of which are common sense. Having said that, in the race, common sense ain't that common. All right, you get some interesting people running a Hyrox race. And you also, look, in yourself, a fatigued body, a fatigued mind can play tricks on you. Okay, so you'd be guessing, have I done 1 lap or have I done 2 laps? Am I on my second? Do I need to go again? You don't want to run an extra 500 metre lap if you can avoid it. So again, we'll help you out with that one. Main rules regarding the machines, you just must complete the required distance and then stick your hand up when you're done. All right, so you don't leave the platform of the ski erg until the judge says so. You don't unclip and stand up off the seat of the rower until the judge says so. Otherwise, I think it's a time penalty this time round. But there are ones where if you use the incorrect weight or if you skip it altogether, you're actually disqualified and they'll kick you off the course. But yeah, we'll make sure that doesn't happen. Other skill-based stations will have judges watching out for your technique. If they judge it be incorrect, then they'll yell out, no rep. Now, if you hear that when you're doing your wall balls, you look at them and you're not very happy by that stage, but you just have to do it. Otherwise, they won't let you progress. Time penalties imposed for repeated breaches, but you should get a warning or two. And as I said, there's no warnings in the pro divisions dependent on the exercise. And then, follow the sequence of stations. If you skip one, they'll boot you. And same goes for the wrong weight. It used to be a heavy time penalty, now it's a DQ. They're the rule books down there for the category. We'll leave them at the front desk if you want to have a bit of a read of them, if you want to borrow them and take them home, or download them off the Hyrox website. They're available there. A couple of hints and tips and do's and don'ts for training and on race day. So we will encourage you to keep as hydrated as possible and recover. It's not just during the race, it's during your training as well. Make recovery part of your training regime. Okay, we've got our recovery room that's going through a bit of a soft launch at the moment. It will be online and operational by the time we kick this off. Okay, learn your split timings for the machines, find a comfortable running pace. Where possible, train at your race pace. So if you want to run flat out during your training, well then you're probably going to be better off for your race day. Wouldn't recommend it, but just try and train at your race pace. During the training phase, it's probably a good idea to experiment with some glucose gel pouches, caffeine supplements or whatever. Pre-workouts, don't experiment on race day though. You don't want it to be a surprise. Trust me, it's not great. Oh, and I've got something on that a little bit later. The gel pouches are actually worth their weight in gold on race day. They really are. How many did we go through, Amanda, on the mixed doubles last year? We went through quite a few, didn't we? So really, really worth it. Listen to your body. If you need a day off, take it. All right, don't push through. Ask questions. As I said, we've got members here with the experience, so don't be afraid to lean on it for their knowledge. If you need to go and see a myotherapist or an osteopath in the lead up for a little bit of a tune-up, I'd recommend that as well. I did that for the last 2 years, and my myo got me up and running pretty good. That was how I was able to push through 2 buggered calves. Most importantly, on race day, don't be afraid to soak it up and have fun. All right, you walk in there for the first time, you'll be like, holy shit, this is great. Yeah, it's a bit overwhelming at first, but once you soak up the atmosphere and you're ready to go, it's actually a lot of fun. What we want to try and avoid is don't start your race off too quick. All right, the adrenaline will be pumping, control yourself, don't go out too quickly. All right, if you run that first K flat out, if you go so hard on the ski erg to the point where you gas out, if you hit what's called your lactate threshold, you will struggle to get back on top of that for the rest of the race, and it's really, really hard to do. Don't buy new shoes for the race. All right, if you want to have some new shoes for the race, buy them now and wear them in. I made that mistake and had to wear older shoes because my feet were killing me in the training. So yeah, it wouldn't do that. Don't smash a bag of lollies just before the race. I did that last year and I felt like I was going to puke about 10 minutes in. No, I'm serious. You might think you'll need the caffeine, the sugar hit beforehand to really, and the glucose in the muscles. That's what your glucose gel pouches are for, and you take those either probably 10, 15 minutes before and then during the race. But yeah, don't have a bag of lollies. It's not smart. Don't push through any niggles or groans. All right, it's only going to set you back. All right, so again, listen to your body. Don't skimp out on the running. That's a bit of a no-brainer, that one. So as I said before, if you haven't started running now, get started pretty quick. And again, we're going to start our run club very shortly. And I put this one in particular, this last point, because someone said, oh, what if, we're running around someone and we want to try and keep up with them? Don't worry about it. you're not there to compete with anyone else other than yourselves, really. Just enjoy the race, all right? We're all on our own journey with this. Celebrate your own achievement. And if you're doing singles, completing a singles Hyrox is probably one of the greatest feelings you'll ever have. I remember the first time, I did it on my 44th birthday a couple of years ago. 2 hours and 16 seconds I did it, and it was torture. I was buggered by the end of it, but collapsed at the end and was overwhelmed by, holy hell, I've never thought I could do anything so difficult in all my life. So when you cross that finish line, the feeling is phenomenal. All right, what to expect during the training phase. Hyrox training, as I said, very similar to what you've experienced in a BFT program. Sessions are just longer. I'll spit that out. And they're a little bit more intense. I mentioned before, you'll surprise yourselves at how fit you guys actually are. All right, we see how hard you train during classes and the gains that you make over, this last 8-week challenge block, for example. The gains I've seen are phenomenal. But this 10-week Hyrox block will just simply refine what you've got and will prepare you for the race day. Be wary of overtraining, all right? In 2024, when I was preparing for my singles race or solo race, I was training 7 days a week. And I ended up popping both of my calves in the lead up. And I'll introduce Zach up the back here. Zach was my coach at Rowville, and he's just looking at me going, "What are you doing, you idiot? Don't come here 7 days a week, because that's going to happen." And I was lucky I was actually able to get up and finish it. Okay, recovery. Think of it as part of your training plan. As I said, don't just do it when you're a bit sore. Hydrate. Balanced diet, use the recovery room, as I said, and last but not least, sleep. Get plenty of sleep. Give your body a chance to rest. Race day, it's full on. It is phenomenal. Yeah, don't do 7 days. Now, the organisers will probably say, and you'll probably get in your emails, arrive 60 to 90 minutes before your scheduled race time. Not enough time. From experience, you'll need at least 2 to 2.5 hours minimum if your times and if your schedules permit, because you'll need time to get into the city, find a car park. You don't want to be rushed. All right, you go in, you go have a look around, you soak up the atmosphere, you go and drop your bag at the warm-up area, you go and do a proper warm-up, because there is a proper warm-up area with rowers, with ski ergs, with wall balls. Make sure you pay attention to the weight on the wall ball. Amanda and I warmed up with a 9-kilo wall ball, and we're thinking, what the hell is this shit? We thought it was a 6-kilo one. Make sure you leave plenty of time. Can't stress this one enough as well. Plenty of fluids and electrolytes. You cannot be hydrated enough. You will lose a lot of body water with sweat during the race. You sweat profusely, so make sure you take plenty of drinks. There is also a drink station in the rock zone up the back where you transition between the stations. Water, Gatorade or whatever, Red Bull, anything to give you a little bit of a kick and move on. Okay, as I said, it could be overwhelming at first, but once the nerves settle, look, you'll love it. I did. I loved it. I wanted to go again. As soon as I crossed that finish line after my singles race, I thought, right, when's the next one? It's addictive. Yeah, this one's a bit interesting. During the race, some strange things can occur. All right, your body will play tricks on you. It might not. It did for me. I lost feeling in my right foot for about a third of the race a couple of years ago. I just don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know what it is to this day. My sister's boyfriend is a physio, and I was asking him as I'm transitioning between stations, is this normal? He's going, yeah, that's fine. Tells me later, no, it's not. So I don't know what happened there, but just be aware that some interesting things can occur. Just think your way through it, adapt, overcome. If you are injured though, don't push through it. There is medical staff on site. They'll come and help you out. Don't put any pressure on yourself to finish within a certain time frame as well. Pushing yourself harder than your training will lead to injury. When I did mine a couple of years ago, I was hoping to get about 90 minutes. I was kidding myself. I was 16 seconds over 2 hours. But just you do you. It's your race, it's your day, enjoy it. And even though it's called a race, you're not in direct competition with anyone, all right? You might have these really hardcore Hyrox types that will, barge past you. I had a few shoulder charges a couple of years ago, and I thought, all right, whatever, you do you. I'm enjoying my day. After race day, it's gonna hurt. You'll be sore, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I was walking around Crown afterwards because my hammies were cramping up with the sandbag lunges, and Amanda can attest to this because she was laughing her head off at me. I was walking around Crown like this afterwards. People are looking at me going, what the hell? Like I'd had something very large up my backside. Trust me, your body will be sore. So make sure, plenty of fluids, recover. Follow your recovery process, stretching, plenty of fluids. Don't come back here too soon. All right, it's a pretty big thing that you're going to put your bodies through. If you come back sooner or later, happy days. But if your race is on the Wednesday, don't come in and do a heavy workout session on the Thursday or the Friday. That's silly. It's not that we don't want you here. Look after yourselves. Speaking of which, as I said, I can't bang on enough about recovery. So that's what we've got up in our recovery room up there. As I said, that will be operational soon. Yay! All right, question time. So as I said, we've got Zach here. As I said, he was my coach over at Rowville. He's kind enough to come over and answer any questions you have with regards to race day. He's been in a couple of races. He's also facilitated training programs as well. So any questions, sing out. You've got a couple of coaches here as well that we can help you out too. But that's pretty much it for me banging on. So are there any questions?
My main concern, do you know where to go? Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be overwhelming.
What's that?
How do you know where to go?
Oh, yeah.
How do you know where to run? And how do you know, is everything clear? Like, do I know, does it say ladies sled? Like, how do you know?
So
Because
on the
there's
race day
adrenaline and
itself,
confusion, I'm nervous about that part.
the big in archway,
Yeah.
so once you've done your laps, however many may be on the day,
Yeah.
the big archway says in, that's when you're into.
And so all the equipment's sort of in the middle, is it?
Yeah.
So each
Yeah.
exercise has its own smaller archways to go into, labelled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 8. So you just follow yourself along. So first, there's obviously the skier.
Yeah.
So when you go on the first exercise, you look for the big one archway, in you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the sleds, anything weighted, if it's the sleds, they'll be set up ready to go depending on obviously what time you are. So if you're doing your women's weights, women's weight, for example, then those be the sleds that are set up. For the sandbags, the kettlebells, anything like that, you just have to obviously remember which weights are yours because they're all set up there in a big pile, essentially.
Yep.
So essentially the 16s are there, 24s, and then the
And they're pretty strict about, how you pick them up and how you return them. Because if you if you rock up and just chuck them and run off, they'll go, wait, put it back, and that's
There is also a huge screen that your name will come up on, and it will say like lap 1, lap 2, or it will tell you in lap. So your in lap means as soon as you get to the in arch, you're straight in, and it will have a number beside your name. So say for example, you've done your first 2 runs and you're going into the second exercise, it will have Chris Evans, and then it will have number 2 beside it. So you know to go in and go to number 2. So you've just got to see your name, and it's far enough away that it's big riding, you can see it, like maybe 40 or 50 metres, so you don't miss your name. So
And they know that because it tracks.
yeah.
you've got your timing chip.
There's a timing chip that they put. It's like a little neoprene strap that gets attached to your ankle.
So there's a giant screen. None of the spectators can see it, but you can see it as you come. It's that front straight.
Yeah, it's usually around the corner around that front straight. Yeah.
The starting section and come into the in arch, and you'll see it.
And
miles
that's,
in advance.
yeah, and that's how they will penalise you as well. I know Andy said about your distance to your partner, particularly those people who are working in doubles. That's how they will work out if you are separated too far. You'd have to go to the rule book to find out how many metres it is.
It's 15 seconds.
What is it?
It's a 15-second gap.
15-second gap. So, for example, I went to the toilet with my partner during Hyrox because we were worried about a penalty. So that's
Yes, you can. And the toilets are open up the back of Jeff's shed.
Alright, it's all happening.
your partner must go with you.
Yes. Yeah.
Like Zach said with the kettlebells, if you drop the kettlebells and it falls over, you have to stand them back up within a marked area.
Yeah.
So you can't just get your sandbag and dump it on the ground.
Yeah.
It's got to be piled up neatly, ready for the next competitors to go.
Your 6 a.m.ers can practice before it gets to 7 a.m. So when we're doing the 10-week Hyrox training,
Yep.
and we are BFT members, how many sessions should we still be training with our BFT sessions? Like, I come 6 days a week. What am I going to be doing?
You should drop
And-
like a Tuesday or a
Yeah.
midweek.
Yeah. Drop them.
Am I dropping leg day or cardio?
What do you reckon?
Like, I want you to tell
Yeah,
me,
that's.
like, I would love you to say, this is your program, this is what I want you to do to benefit your higher. Just tell me. Like,
Yeah, I get it.
Leg day?
We're coming anyway, so.
Yeah.
Like, tell me
Nick,
when to come.
as Zach just said, everyone's different. Yeah.
So
Mate,
when
I need to
there's no crystal clear answer. So your coach may be able to help you specifically. Every single person in this room will be different.
So how many sessions should I be doing a week when I'm doing my Hyrox training on a Sunday?
I'd say personally, I suggest most people miss the Monday session if they're doing Sunday, which
Yes.
is a massive session, miss the Monday, and potentially somewhere else during the week. Whether that be also the Saturday to lead up into it, or somewhere else where you can recover. I'd say most people 5 sessions a week.
5 sessions a week.
Goodbye balance.
See, I'm not the only one that hates it. Yeah.
What about on those days you don't train, we come and do like recovery sauna?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
100%.
fine.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Come and do it. Come and stretch.
Yeah.
Could just
Friday night lights going, oh yeah, we're just taking it easy. Doesn't happen.
they're 5 sessions a week.
Could you
do
still
it
be
every
doing
week.
like a light run each day? Like I run most days. Is that also considered a workout that you should? No, it's nothing fast or anything. But like,
Look, if you're running every day, it's going to help you massively. All right. Having a strong running base is going to help you immensely. It really is. If that's all you do, you're going to be ahead of most others. It's just the strength things that you'd probably need to really work on if all you do is run. So it is a balance between strength and endurance, this particular race. So you could be the best runner in the world, but if you can't push a sled 102 kilos, 50 metres, so it's 4 12.5 metre lengths. If you can't do that, you're no good. You're not going to make it past the second station.
and in that week leading up where you say don't do exercise, does that mean running as well, like light jogs?
You can keep moving. You can go for a light jog, and I stress light.
Yeah.
And it's only in the lead up to the to the race itself, in the couple of days in the lead up to it.
Those dates are also dependent on what day. Like if you're on the Sunday, you could still train like the Monday, Tuesday leading up to it, and then rest later in the week. But if you're like competing on the Wednesday, you don't even bother coming in Monday, Tuesday.
Nah, well, I mean, Adam, you're on the Wednesday? Yeah, so I'm on the Wednesday for singles. You're on the Saturday. Okay. So, all right, well, so there's a couple of different examples there. So Adam and I, I wouldn't be coming in on a Monday or a Tuesday. Chris, on the other hand, he'd probably come in Monday to Wednesday, maybe have Thursday, Friday off. So
Sunday, Tuesday?
Yeah, look, again, it's up to you. If that's your routine and your body is used to running daily, and if you have a day off, you're like, what do I do now? I wouldn't upset the routine. Just make sure it's light.
People who do a lot of running do like a shakeout run the day before, don't they? Just a really gentle, 2Ks, just so the legs don't seize up or whatever. But someone like me, I try to avoid it.
It's because you can't run, that's why.
With the running, working out, how many days a week would that be? Or is that just a Sunday?
No. Well, as I said, If that's the case, look, I'd recommend taking one of these. Recommend minimum 3 times a week, minimum. So we've got 2 midweek runs, and then the Sunday Hyrox.
More than that, like would you recommend us doing extra as well?
That's probably a minimum. Minimum 3 times a week. If you want to run more, go for it. But again, just be wary about the overtraining principle. Yeah, don't go too hard too soon. Slow, build it up. Get your body used to it so everything adapts to your training load, and then you want to be hitting your peak about a week and a half to 2 weeks out.
How many, what are we running?
Yeah, I was going to say, what types of runs?
What distance are we doing? What should we be doing?
Well, I can't remember off the top of my head. So for argument's sake, the week 1, when you're building the habit to run, your first run midweek is probably a nice, easy 20-minute continuous run where you should be able to hold a conversation with someone running with you. Yeah, so it's nice and easy. Second one, you do some interval training where you run 400s. You do 4 of those, have a bit of a cool down in between, but it's at a moderate intensity where you can still talk to someone, but you're a little gassed. There is, on this thing it says, red hard intensity, but we're not recommending to do that during this pre-10-week block phase. So as I said, I'd recommend taking one of those before you head out. Yeah, any other questions?
Is there like an equivalent training program for taking gels and electrolytes and stuff?
Absolutely.
Again, everyone is different in how you use it. So when I did my race last year with Amanda, I had mine pretty much every 15 minutes. Some would go, that's probably a bit too much. Some would, yeah, it is a lot. But
you felt you needed it, or you planned that?
No, little column A, little column B. But everyone's different, and that's why we say during the 10-week block, experiment with what works for you.
Could you
right?
do nothing on the day, or there's just not?
Yeah, that's what I did. I had no waters, no gels, nothing on the day.
Yeah.
I just found like for me, I felt better if I wasn't drinking things.
Yeah.
I wasn't taking gels, so I tried that previous times and it was no good.
Yeah.
So I tried to have a strict sort of lead into it, hydrate really well beforehand, and then I felt like I actually didn't need it, and then didn't feel the need to do that, didn't need to slow down for stations. I felt
But
fine.
for you with the training, did you try doing gels and doing that, and you're like, oh no, was it working? Or
I tried those previous races, like previous years I'd done that, I tried gels, and I found it just made my mouth feel really clogged up and dry. And I found
It is a lot. They're really like.
They are really sticky and sweet.
I did 2, I think, through my last one. So I would have done one after maybe the 3rd exercise, and maybe after the 5th or 6th.
You need to carry them on you?
Yeah.
Yes.
The thing is, if
Yes.
you drop it, you get a penalty.
Yeah.
I was worried about doing a burpee and it just explode.
Nah. So I mean, yeah, I had pockets in my bike shorts, and I just stashed them in that. Yeah. It probably wasn't every 15 minutes. It's probably a bit much. It's
the duster.
right. Yeah. So, but again, that's why we say experiment with them. You'll know what works for you. You might just go, oh, that's terrible. Like what Zach said, that doesn't work for you. For me, worked a treat.
Some people might think pre-workouts are good, but in this thing, keeping your heart rate down is important. So
Yes.
that high stimulant pre-workout, you like when you stand in this little, what do you call it? Cave, like where it's literally.
Oh, the tunnel.
It's like a nightclub. Honestly, it's in there.
Yeah.
There's music pumping. There's a countdown timer. Everyone is like bouncing, trying to get going. Your heart rate's at 170, and you haven't done anything yet. You're standing there. Honestly, that's what it's like. And then you go out. Yeah. And then, like as you take off, that's what Andy said before. Don't go too hard too soon. But like a high stim pre-workout, you want your heart rate like as low as you possibly can, so you're not gassing yourself. Because if you do that first run too quick and get onto the skier, and your heart rate's 170, 175, you cannot recover, can you?
No.
There's so many people blast themselves
you
out
struggle.
of the race in the first 10 minutes. So it's about like, I don't think pre-workouts personally are any good because my heart rate goes through the roof. But again, it might be different for everyone.
Again, that's why we say experiment.
What to eat, like the nutrition through the day before, the night, what like.
Again, we'll give you guides on all of that. I mean, we can give it to you now, but that's probably it's pointless now because we're still in July. This thing's 5 months away.
We also use a seating plan, a schedule.
There's obviously lots of fans and it could be really hot, couldn't it?
No, it's actually not too bad. I mean, if it's a stinking hot, because it's in December, if it's a stinking hot day outside, it gets pretty muggy in there. Yeah. I mean, you think of all these bodies running around and the sweat and it's just. Ugh. But
We wiped out the machines.
no, not. You know what? It's not our machines. It's not our problem. No. You just judges do that. There are people at the stations that do that. Hang on, guys.
She won't touch her.
Hang on, guys. Chris?
The other thing you mentioned was about having like maybe a Red Bull or something else to give you that kick.
Yeah, they've got
So
there are a couple of stations at the rear of the rock zone. So in between the in arch and the out arch, they have drink stations. So there's water, there's whatever their sponsored. Yeah, whatever their sponsored product is, and then Red Bull. So you can.
The rock zone is essentially like a transition zone where you come in, they've got all the drinks, you've got all the entrance to the station, and then you go out through the out arch in case the rock zone didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's basically transitions.
Yeah.
But you can't stash your own drink bottle.
No. And you can't receive anything from a coach from, if we'll be there. We'll be there supporting you. So if you see us running around, you go, give me a drink, can't do it. We can't, because again, they can't control what's in those drink bottles as well, because they say, oh, look, if it's drink bottle infused with all sorts of peptides and all sorts of weird stuff. Yeah.
And so do the heats just happen like every 10 minutes or something?
The heats every 10 or 15?
I think it was 10.
I think it's every 10.
There's not a lot of gap in between. So once a heat goes in, there's usually probably a 5-minute window, and then they go, righto, next heat up. There's then a little briefing before you go into the tunnel, and then there's a little video that plays, and you're sitting there thinking, oh, this is awesome. And then bang, off it goes. You get all the crazies up the front that just want to go hell for leather. I'm always up the back. I'm like, I've got no interest in doing any of that. I'm running my race. Your timer doesn't start until your timing chip actually crosses a certain line. So it's not, all right, this is your heat. Nah, this is your heat time. At this time is when your race time starts. No, that's not correct.
So if it takes 10 to 12 seconds to get out of the starting area, until you cross the start line, that's when your timer kicks in.
Are you ever waiting for someone in front of you? Like if I'm taking forever so there's plenty
sizes can have that.
Yeah.
The burpees and the lunges, because they're essentially lanes of it.
Yeah.
If you happen to get stuck behind somebody who's going really slow, you can also just step to the side.
Yeah.
But if you've got like 3 or 4 people that all happen to be doing really slow together, there's a slight chance.
You'd be pretty unlucky to.
If they're going really slow, you can just ask them to move to the side, and if they're probably that slow, they'll let you go to the
You'd be pretty unlucky. You'd be pretty unlucky to cop it.
I'm worried I'll do that.
It's super coordinated. There are
Yeah.
volunteers and judges and guys.
There's
who are
a ton of.
saying, if you were blocked behind someone, they said go around, like they're supervising and giving you the all clear. So it's really.
There's a
I
ton
know
of
that can
people
be
helping out.
daunting, but there's a lot of people there helping you, guiding you, saying pick up this weight if you're in this your division, here, and they'll direct you.
And the judges aren't there just, with a big stick to say, hey, don't do this. They're there to help you. So ask them. You go, hey, this is my division. Which one do I get? There you go. Women's open, 16 kilo kettlebells. There you go. Grab them and off you run. Men's open, 24. Men's pro, I think, is 36. So there they are. Off you go. So they will guide you through. They will guide you through if you need it. So please don't be afraid to stick your hand up and go, help.
And encouraging.
Yeah, and they are really good people.
When you drain and you look like you're struggling, they're just like, you're almost there, keep
Yeah.
going. So super encouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the running again, should you be doing some lunges and things sort of early on to get that sort of fatigue in the legs to learn
biggest thing I'd say with that is depends on your running base.
Yeah.
If you've got a strong running base already, then yeah, you probably can add that in. If you don't have a strong running base, then you're better off just getting volume in your legs first and not worrying about doing it fatigued first. Just focus on actually getting the running volume in.
You can do a little bit of stuff in here as well, like in a summer class, instead of doing, like just standard lunges, you can do the walking lunges or you can do the burpee broad jumps. Just kind of somewhat incorporate the Hyrox movements instead of what the screen says if it's similar.
And we'll help you out again with some variations to technique as well. So
people do always go heavier, say men's lunges are 20 kilos, so we could go to 25, so you're better off going heavier. Women on the farmer's carry, you could practice with a 20, so on race day it becomes lighter. Same with the wall balls, you just go the one size up.
That's actually really smart.
We can start doing a run after class. We can mark out a kilometre, or even just run the block after class, and Don't run that block.
Well, so the block from here down to Dorset Road, down to Chandler Road, back up Rangeview to Elsie, I think it is, and then back down here's 1.7. So that's or if you want to, over the back of the church here, the car park, the bike track along the train line, from here to Bayswater is just over 2 clicks. And that's just one way. So there and back is 4. Macca's drive-through. I've already been there tonight, so yeah.
Like, you go stand on that thing, you'll take photos.
Yep. Well, you get a photo, and then there's photo packages as well. But one thing is you get a little bit of a keepsake is a patch you get to put on your bag. So that was my one for singles a couple of years ago. That was myself and the boss lady last year. It might not seem like much, but when you get your patch, it's like, okay, that's cool. And if you're lucky enough to, or if you're good enough to go really quick and you finish on the podium, you get a flag, 1, 2, 3, and it's phenomenal.
Okay, so then what do you do as soon as you get up? Like, are you like, you're cooling down, you just get on
Well, once you... Well, believe it or not, there is a bar there, and there's So if you want to go straight and pop a bottle of bubbly, go for it. After the race, you're pretty cooked. So you're just going to want to sit down, have a drink. There's some chairs there. I think there were compression boots. Was there a compression? Yeah.
F45 was the last couple of years or whatever. So
it depends on who it is. Yeah, I don't think it's BFT this year. That's not. It's still F45. Yeah, okay. So don't go in and raid the F45 stuff because I'll want to see if you're a member and then they'll tell you to nick off. But
you can get a tattoo after if you like.
Oh, they have a tattoo artist. Yeah. Get a proper Hyrox tattoo. I don't know if I'd want to do that after I've busted my backside on a bloody race, but yeah.
Do many not finish?
Yeah, I can't just anymore. You say, I'm done?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, look, if you finish, I mean, if you don't, you pay a fair bit of money to buy the ticket, and then you spend however long training your backside off training for it. You want to finish it. Question Zach was asked, does anyone not finish it?
Yeah, like I said,
if you're injured, that's probably one thing.
Otherwise, you can just walk through it really. Take as long as you need to.
Yeah, 2 hours and 16 seconds.
Yeah, take that long if you need to.
That's 16 seconds.
I don't recommend it. I don't recommend taking 2 hours to do it. I don't recommend it at all. But if that's what you need to do to walk some of it, then I mean, finishing a Hyrox race is something you'll always look back on and go, yeah. So cool. Any other questions?
Let's just go start running.
Look, as I said, we've got a wealth of knowledge at our disposal. Fridge has competed at a few. I've done a few. Amanda's done a few. And we can also reach out to other BFTs in the area for any specialist advice as well. So again, I've got contacts and, Zach, thanks for coming out, mate. If there's nothing else, thank you for coming. There's some nibbles up the back and some bottles of water if you want to raid that. If not, we'll see you at 6 o'clock or at 5 o'clock or whichever class you're in for. So thank you, ladies and gents.
Thank you.
Don't forget the running programs too if you want to grab one.
Wait, Nick, do you want a book too? Can we have one of these?
If you can borrow it and have a